consider this. Could the food we eat every day actually be secretly resetting our brains, pushing us unknowingly into a cycle that is hard to break? This sounds a bit like science fiction, but today we are going to talk about just that. Yes, that's right, this is the core question we are exploring today. Is what you put into your body rewriting the appetite control program in your brain? Let's see what science has to say. So, let's get straight to the topic. To understand this whole situation, we first need to meet the main character of today's story. It's tiny in the brain, but its function is incredibly powerful. Its name is the hippocampus. You may have heard of it. Right, many people know the hippocampus as the memory center of our brain. You can imagine it as a super efficient file manager, specializing in processing and storing memories, things like where did I park my car, or what exactly did I eat for lunch yesterday. That's what it manages. But it's not that simple. Later, scientists discovered that it is actually a slash generation. It has a second job, and this job is super crucial. It simultaneously acts as the brake system in our brain. When you are full, it is responsible for receiving the I'm full signal and immediately hitting the brakes to tell you, "Hi, that's enough. You can stop eating." And here's the problem. The Western diet common today, like processed vegetarian foods and those sickeningly sweet drinks, these high-fat, high-sugar foods are specifically designed to cause destruction. They directly damage this delicate brain brake system. And the scariest part is how fast this damage occurs. It's astonishingly quick. Studies have found that this negative effect can appear in as little as 10 days after you start eating these unhealthy foods. You heard that right. Just 10 days, which is even shorter than many people's annual vacation. Okay, now you can imagine what happens when your car's brake system starts failing. This brings us to what a researcher called the vicious cycle trap. Just hearing the name sounds ominous, doesn't it? Let's break it down step by step. First step, you eat high-fat, high-sugar foods. Next, your hippocampus, the brake system, starts getting damaged. Its ability to process the I'm full signal decreases. Then, because the internal brakes in your body are broken, external temptations like food ads on TV or the scent coming from a roadside bakery become irresistible to you. Final step, you end up overeating and gaining weight, which in turn causes more severe damage to your hippocampus. See, this is a downward spiraling loop. So, this statement is truly spot on. If you often wonder why you just can't control your mouth and find it hard to change your eating habits, listen carefully. It is highly likely that this is not an issue of your willpower. It's like trying to stop a car with broken brakes, while being told you absolutely must stop. That's incredibly difficult, isn't it? Moreover, the consequences of this brake system failure affect more than just weight. It directly impacts our cognitive functions. You might find your memory getting worse, you act more impulsively, and your thinking often feels fuzzy, that state we often call brain fog. In the long run, it might even increase our future risk of cognitive decline. Well, hearing this, you might feel a bit discouraged, but don't worry. What comes next is the good news. There is a turning point. Our brain is actually more resilient than we think. The damage we just described is not permanent. The key to all of this lies in a superpower our brain possesses called neuroplasticity. Simply put, the brain has the ability to self-repair and reorganize itself. This means that as long as we change our lifestyle, those negative changes have a very good chance of being reversed. A study on animals provided very encouraging results. Researchers switched a group of mice that had been on a long-term high-fat, high-sugar diet back to healthy food. Guess what happened? In just about weeks, their previously damaged memory and some anxious behaviors showed very significant improvement. But I think the most amazing and exciting discovery is this. In another study, scientists observed that even before the experimental animal's body weight showed significant decrease, their brain function and memory had already returned to normal levels. What does this tell us? It tells us that the benefits of improving our diet for the brain come quickly and directly, perhaps even faster than the numbers you see when you step on the scale. Okay, having understood the entire background, the most important question remains, what can we actually do? Don't worry, next, we will provide a clear plan that you can start immediately to help your brain take back control. However, before we start taking action, let's spend 30 seconds on a small self-check to see if your hippocampus is waving a white flag and sending out a distress signal. Okay, everyone can look at the questions on the screen and honestly ask yourself, do you often feel a sudden craving to eat, even when you aren't hungry? Perhaps just because you saw an advertisement or smelled something tempting. After you finish a meal, do you rarely feel that feeling of so satisfied? Do you feel that you are currently more impulsive and less thoughtful about what you want to eat compared to before? Finally, do you often find your mouth can't stop, constantly snacking, yet you never actually feel truly full? If you silently nodded yes to several of these questions, this might be a signal reminding you that it's time to take good care of your hippocampus. But please remember, our goal is not to make you feel guilty or blame yourself. The most crucial thing is to understand that this is not a war between you and your appetite. Quite the opposite. This is a healing journey that requires you to communicate and cooperate well with it. So, how exactly can you cooperate? Here are 4 very effective methods. Reduce processed foods and refined sugars. This is very direct. Don't try to do it all at once. Start with one small change, like drinking one less sugary drink today. Regular exercise. Exercise promotes the brain to secrete a protein called BDNF, which scientists call brain fertilizer. It helps neurons grow and repair. Even just a 20-minute brisk walk every day is very helpful. Get quality sleep. Sleep is the most important time for the hippocampus to process memories and perform self-repair. Try to establish a consistent sleep schedule. Manage your stress, because long-term stress hormones also damage our hippocampus. Giving yourself 5 minutes every day for deep breathing exercises is a great start. Remember, when you start taking good care of your brain will also reward you with a better state of being. Finally, here is a question left for you to think about when you go back. Besides the diet we discussed today, are there any other small, unnoticed habits in your life that might be quietly affecting your hippocampal health?